How's it going, guys? My name is LongBarrel. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Map Knowledge, a series where I teach you guys all about different maps, holding different positions, all around the different Counter-Strike maps. We've already covered pretty much all of Cache. We did A site, mid, and B site. Now it's time to move on to Mirage. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video on Mirage B site, how to solo it, and that's today what we're going to be talking about. So as you guys may or may not know, when I play in my Road to Global or ESC plugin, on Mirage I'm always play B site or catwalk. That's why I decided to start off with this episode with B site. The beauty about B site on Mirage is that the fact there's only one entrance that T's can come in. In most regular setups on Mirage B site, you're going to have one guy playing on B site from the site itself holding apps, and you're gonna have one guy holding catwalk. So the B guy's job is literally just to hold this little entry point, the choke point, and to kind of hold the enemy off. That is why it is super crucial you use your utility to the maximum efficiency. A lot of people think that B-side Mirage is all about just kind of holding it down, holding angles, getting people, catching people off guard and stuff like that, when in reality, if you can play your utility very well, you can truly make a nuisance out of yourself and really make those T's work to get the entrance. Now, before we get into utility usage, we do have to, of course, go over the positions and how each position can impact the round. So let's quickly get into that, and we'll go over each individual position. So for how cramped this site actually is, there's a lot of positions you can actually play from to really kind of spice your hold up. The beauty about this site is you can always switch your position round by round, so the enemies won't clearly know where you are. They will have to obviously systematically find you and try and get into the site. Now, before you obviously get into a position, you must decide if you want to play aggro or you want to play passive. There's different positions on this site that can really allow you to play in whatever playstyle you want to, if you want to try and catch your enemies off guard. For that reason, I'm going to start off with the more aggressive styles of playing kind of apps positions. Now, playing app position is really good because you can take control of apps and you can get a lot of information that way. But keep in mind that if this is a choke point and the enemies have just a good advantage of killing you as you do them. So if you're playing aggro positions, you must always kind of be cautious, have a teammate ready to rotate, kind of use your sense as to if you want to hang out here or not. So a lot of people like to hold this corner right here. It's a very standard corner. A lot of people will most likely check it, so it's one of those one and done positions. Now, you might get lucky and you might let a bunch of people run by you and you'll kill them and stuff like that. So probably the most popular place to hold for the CTs would be obviously behind this wall. The amount of times that people just forget to clear this spot and get absolutely taken care of is ridiculous. So that's why you should, as a T, you should always clear this spot, and as a CT, you should always be prepared to be cleared. Sometimes you can also kind of back off into more of like an off angle position, just kind of hold it from here. You can actually hold apps from this ledge right here, kind of as close to the edge as possible, and just holding the angle like this. So the reason why this is a really good spot is because the enemies won't actually see you until they come in at about like this angle, which is obviously where you're aiming at. And at the same time, they're most likely going to be worried about the market guys, the site guys, and trying to clear this guy before they're going to clear this spot right here. So you're the last guy that you need to worry about if you are holding this position. Now, of course, once you get the kill, you can obviously just jump off, run into a more safer position, and continue holding from that way. So moving down the list of positions, you can obviously hold it from van. Van is a very popular position, so a lot of operators like to post up right here and just wait for the first contact into apps, and they get a shot, back off, or they get flashed out, they can just jump off. So it's not that much of a dangerous position. If you're not holding from van, you're probably going to be holding from underneath the balk spot right here, and most likely just kind of spotting like that. A lot of people hold this position and just jump up and down and getting information to see if people are getting into apps or whatnot. This is actually one of the smarter ways to play this position. Is just you're not exposing yourself too much. All you're doing is just jumping for information. Let's move on to the next position. I'm going to talk about the bench position. So they've updated the wall a little bit here. I'm not sure if it got smaller or whatnot, but this position is very popular, especially for like oppers or like riflers if they're supporting someone. The reason why they like to hold this position is because they're not exposed to the windows and they're only just watching the entrance. That's all all they're doing, they're watching the entrance and they're seeing if anybody runs out. Keep in mind that this is also a position that people like to nade, and they will try and wallbang you. And you can also, once you get kind of spotted, you can just run out like this without really being too exposed from any of these positions until you get to about this point where you have to worry about window, which you can obviously clear or run past really quick and just continue holding from the sight position, which is what I want to talk about next. Holding from sight, you can literally hold from any position and get like different angles into like apps and stuff like that. You can hold from here, you can hold from here, you can hold from here. You can even like play with this box, which is a spot I really like to play sometimes. I just sit in this box right here and I wait for people running out here. You can also, you know, play from this box, play from here. Now, like I said, sight is a very good position if you want to learn how to rotate through the positions, play, you know, more aggressive, then run to sight, hold from here. If you hear them coming, you might back off, wait for the rotation. There's a lot of things you can do with the sight position, and that's why it's so nice. Catwalk is also a viable option if you want to play from here. A lot of people like to play kind of the get right area, you know, they're playing around like right here. You know, people kind of hold it from here. They might move around and just hold angles like this, or just kind of deep cat, you know, just shouldering stuff, peeking stuff, kind of getting information if they want to play retake B. At the same time, you're also getting a lot of information if people going underpass playing from catwalk. You can hear everybody that's running around and stuff like that. So consider this as a position you might want to hold. Maybe switch it up sometimes, kind of play from catwalk, play from sight, etc, etc. The last position I want to talk about is obviously holding from market. This is as passive as it gets. Holding from here, you're probably most likely just going to be spotting right here with the knob, or kind of, you know, making sure that people are not crossing and trying to shoot them. But in most cases, people just run past the window and jump onto sight, which you can't really do much about. As you can see, like once they jump in, they're pretty much on default at that point. This is as passive as it gets. You only have one window right here that you can be getting information from. So if they made it past the window and they already jumped up onto sight, you're pretty much playing retake at that point. So nothing wrong with that. Just you know, depends on how you want to play it. Because this site really heavily relies on having utility to hold it, I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about utility and how you can use it to your advantage, which combos you can throw from each position that can really help you out in solidifying your hold. Your best bet is to have all 4 grenades. It's super important that you have a Molotov and a smoke. I would prioritize these 2 grenades. So starting off with the van, if you're kind of doing a more spotting role and stuff like that, you hold on to your utility early on, right? Don't kind of throw them away. And once you see someone, that's when you can start throwing your stuff. The best way to kind of smoke off the entrance, I found, is to literally just back yourself into this corner. You want to aim in between kind of like the dark spot right here. Just left click throw. And as you can see, just kind of perfectly smokes off the entrance. You can kind of go for like a bit of a closer smoke if you want to just aim at the bottom of this line. The reason why it might be more beneficial to have a closer smoke is because when they run through the apps into the smoke, as you can see, they start getting vision at about right here, which is where they start to get opened up to a lot of these angles from sight and all that jazz. So a bit of a nade combo you can throw from this position. Throw your smoke. You want to throw a nade into kind of deep apps to slow them down or whatnot, and then you want to left click throw a Molotov off that wall. It's going to bounce, spread pretty much all around the window spot. If they are pushing through the smoke, they will run into the fire, so that's always a plus. And then there's a bit of a pop flash you can actually throw from this corner right here. I've seen Lecro throw it on the Team Fnatic. You want to line up the bottom of this kind of brown beam right here and left click throw off this wall. The flash will come up into an arch and is going to blind anybody that's in apps. Use it how you want to, just a nice pop flash. If you're holding from bench, there's a couple of good nade combos you can throw. Back yourself into the corner. You want to aim at kind of this awning right here and the beam right in between those at the white line like this. Simply left click throw. The smoke will go straight into apps, bounce off the seat, and just smoke off the apps entrance. You can follow that up with a bit of a molly and flash combo. You want to look at this beam right here, which is second from the right, and you want to go up straight where the top of this roof is kind of, and just simply do a bit of a push throw. The molly will land straight into here and it's going to molly off this area perfectly. And you can actually throw a bit of a pop flash as well. Kind of aim at the same area, except this time don't do a push throw, simply do a left click throw, and the flashbang will kind of come in like this. There's no way they're going to have any time to react to that. It's going to come in, blind them, and might make them jump into your fire. If you know they're already close, same thing applies with the grenade. You can actually just do a push throw, then it will come in you know, nade anybody that's trying to come out of this entrance. It's one of those things where you kind of have to judge by timing, you know, where they could be. Still a pretty good nade combo nonetheless. Here's a bit of a bonus, I guess, flash for you guys. If you're playing the bench position from the kind of the back corner right here, which a lot of people do, by the way, and you know they're about to come, you can actually throw a flash. Simply just bank it off this wall like this. It's going to go behind the tarp, and they're not really going to see it flying in their face unless they see the shadow. I don't really know if this works or not. Just kind of something I came up with on the spot. Maybe swing off that, reposition, do whatever you want. If you are playing the passive route and you're kind of holding it for market and stuff like that, and you want to go ahead and re-smoke B main, here are a couple of good nade combos you can throw from this area right here. You simply come out the window, walk straight into this corner like that. You want to aim at the top of this wooden bracket like this. Left click throw. The smoke will come in, bounce off the wall, and smoke off the B main entrance perfectly. Then you can follow that up with a nice molly, which is pretty much going to be on the leftmost brown bracket at the bottom right here. Just completely left click throw. Is going to bounce off the wall, spread all around B main, and as you can see, it's just a beautiful Molotov. People are not running through that unless they're willing to die. So the combo you can throw from this position is obviously you want to line up the smoke, you want to left click throw that, you want to have the Molotov ready, throw that, and if you know they're coming, you want to aim at the top of this air conditioning unit, you want to left click throw a grenade, which is going to land perfectly into the smoke. And if they are at this point already, they're gonna get naded, and they will take a lot of damage from that nade, which will work really well with this Molotov. The same exact lineup for the grenade you can use for a pop flash as well. Same thing. You want to, you know, line up with a corner of this air conditioning unit. Left click throw is going to come in, perfectly flash anybody. They are not reacting to that. Just some bit of a bonus flash if, let's say, you're playing with the teammate and he asks for an apps flash. Now you know how to flash him in perfectly. Nade combos from the cap positions are a little bit simpler just because you don't really have lineups anymore. You can just kind of bank stuff off. To make sure you have a good lineup for this, just kind of make sure that this window is covered completely by this wall like that. And then now you can just start kind of push throwing smokes into there. You know, banking kind of Molotovs like that. You know, just play around with like that. You know, do whatever you want. Delay them by throwing a couple of flashes in there or something like that. You know they're coming. Just kind of nade it in there. Reposition. Just do whatever you can to annoy the shit out of your enemy and keep them as far as possible from the site. So the first thing that I like to do when I defend the B-bomb site, once I come through the window like that, I pretty much in most cases, I will smoke off the entrance. If you smoke off the entrance early on, you will be ready for any B rush that's about to come to you, which I'm going to show you guys how to hold right now. I smoke off apps. Now, I'll show you a really easy lineup for this. I kind of do it on the fly, but if you want to be accurate every single time, just kind of walk into this corner like that. You want to aim just at the top of the window like that. Left click throw is going to bounce off the little stool and then smoke off apps. Immediately after smoking the grenade, I'm awaiting the B rush. I go into the position right here so that way I can swing if they do a pop flash. The T's will almost always throw a pop flash if they're rushing B. So that pop flash will be an indicator that they are rushing, and you can simply just prepare a Molotov to bank off this wall. You hear that flash come in, you let go of the Molotov, it mollies off the entire entrance, and them running through the smoke into the Molotov is just instant death. I've included some footage right now where I show you that I roasted a bunch of people. As you can see, it just works so well against B rushes. So that's kind of a little bit of your bonus tip right there, how to hold against the B rush. If they are rushing, they're running straight into the fire, and you're getting the most easiest Molotov kills of your life because they're going to be bunching up into this fire, scared to move. Pure chaos. You're going to be destroying them all. Now, obviously, if your cat guy can, ask him to smoke off B main for you, just because you want to hold on to your utility as late as possible into the round, especially if you're soloing B. So I haven't really been doing this for other spots, on cash, for example, but let's talk about some of the spots to avoid when playing on the B-bomb site. To think of the spots to avoid, you need to think in the perspective of the enemy. Which angles is the person going to clear first, and which angles does he have an advantage over when peeking? So the very first angle right here is playing literally from this point right here. It will be one of the first angles they clear when they're coming up on site, so avoid playing this angle. At the same time, avoid playing this angle on site like that. There are better ways of holding the window. The third angle would be around this area right here, or even like kind of like the market spot. If you are holding market, I wouldn't even face this person. I would just spot, get the information, call it out, and back off. So these three angles alone are not very good positions. Another very easily pre-fireable spot is this angle like that. A lot of people like to play around this pillar, and the T guys will swing like this and headshot you. So if I were you, I'd play it a bit more of like a deeper position, maybe somewhere right here. Another big one is once you've made it past this window, it's this angle like right here. If I were you, I would hold it from this corner, kind of like more closer to the market entrance instead of this silo right here, just because that way you can back off and then loop around instead of getting caught out like this. For the last angle, I guess, to avoid on this site is to just completely avoid peeking from the left, or I guess from the T's perspective, the right side of a broken wall. Not a huge fan of this angle. It's very easily headshotable. You swing out like this, peeker's advantage, the guy's dead. So if you hold it from kind of this side, maybe kind of hold it from using this wall to your advantage from this side, and that way you can always back off and run, you know, into a good position. Don't be stupid. Don't try and go for the barrels jump like this, because once you're midair, they see you so quick, they're just gonna headshot you straight away. So don't be stupid. Maybe throw a pop flash first, then jump up. I guess avoid holding the angle on van. If you have a rifle, the wide swingers can really mess your day up if they do swing on this position. Alright, so now time for the closing segment that I like to call trade secrets. Now, there aren't really a lot of trade secrets on this map. There are some little things that you can do to kind of, you know, spice up your game on here. So the first one, I guess, if you're a decent kind of jumping player, you can jump into this window like this. Why this is good is, for example, you might be holding this angle like this, kill a guy or something, jump into the window, and then continue holding from this angle, jump back off once they find you. You may or may not know this is a very common wallbang spot, but you can actually wallbang this wall like this, and it's completely penetrable. As you can see, the bullets completely go through, and you can actually get some cheeky wallbangs of anybody that's trying to run through the doors. If you hear them coming, you can spray that down, get a cheeky kill like that if you really want to. There's a bit of a spot. You can walk into this box like this, kind of find the right spot to walk into it, and then you're going to jump up like that, and you can hold entrance to B apps from this position like this. You can get a kill if they are walking, and then you can also hold out with NOP to make it a bit easier for yourself. And once you see the guy walking by, you just simply op him. They can't really clear this spot. It's super hard to see anybody up there. Keep in mind that if they do run past, it's very hard to hit them, so you kind of have to be really, really quick on that shot. Another spot that goes really well with the op is you can jump onto the dumpster like this, aim at the entrance like that, and you can pretty much see anybody running out. If, let's say, you're on an eco and you want to kind of hide on this box, you can actually get boosted on here. Have your buddy run up from the beginning, boost you up, run off to catwalk, for example, and you can hold B solo and just wait for like the planter. In higher ranks, they will clear this angle, but you might get a kill or two on the unsuspecting T's that are coming out of apps. And for the last trade secret, I'm going to show you guys how to smoke off the entrance of 2B main if you really, really want to get aggro. And it's really good smoke for those kind of late rounds if you want to push up into apps and take control of it. You want to walk into these, whatever these things are. You want to line up this beam in between this dark spot and that dark spot. Once they're lined up, you want to aim right in the middle where this cross beam intersects. Simply left click throw. The smoke will come in above the roof, bounce off, fall into place like that, and smoke off the entrance. So if anybody tries to go B, they're gonna be, that's not good, we should probably not push that. And you can use that to your advantage by simply running to apps and continuing your hold from here. Maybe even have a molly ready once the smoke fades, burn time off them, do whatever you want, and play around with that. Use your sense, play your game, and have fun with it. So that's gonna do for me for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something new, how to hold the B bomb safe from different positions and different perspectives. I can't say this enough that it's very important that you use your utility on this bomb site. A lot of people just tend to rely on their aim, even though their utility is going to help them a lot more, and it can really burn time off of the enemy's takes simply because of this one choke point. You can continue bombarding with smokes, mollies, nades, flashes, all that stuff to burn time off of them. I gave you guys a couple of really good smokes and a really good Molotovs you can throw from pretty much anywhere on this site. So I hope you guys use those in your next game that you guys play. Again, in every situation, it's different how it all plays out. That's why play it how you want to play it. Just simply have fun with it. Let me know your success on this map if I helped you get any better at holding. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to check out my cash tutorials, the card will be in the top right hand corner for the entire playlist. I stream Monday to Friday on my Twitch. The link to that will be down in the description as well. Hope to see a couple of you guys over there. And that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm LongBarrel. And remember, be water, my friends.